Midnight Sly here, serving as your co-host for Night Shift. This is episode 2, and you might notice there's a white face instead of a black one to my right, and that is because sleep, I guess. But anyway, this is going to be an episode on Valorant, a game you all know well, and this is Murpdirt. Face you probably know well if you are around my channel or around me online in any way, shape, or form. This dude has been around for a while, and so we have him here to do an episode with us, and he's probably going to be a pretty consistent co-host for whether I'm not available or Dark Hour's not available. He's the very next go-to, so get used to that. Anyway, say what's up, Murpdirt.
Hey, how you doing? Glad to be here. Appreciate the last minute DM.
We don't talk about production. That's backstage stuff. We don't talk about that stuff. But
I pretty much just like showered real quick and got here. So
yeah, I can tell by your wet comb over.
My greasy ass forehead. We don't talk about that.
It's gonna go great in the video. But anyway, so let's start off. I'll let you have the opening remarks. What is your take on Valorant so far? Because I believe the closed beta has been out for a week or two. Today's the 14th. So it's been a week exactly, I think, right?
About a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been about a week. And I didn't really know anything about Valorant until I watched a video from one of my favorite YouTubers. His name's Anomaly, who's a huge CS:GO streamer. And I saw him playing Valorant. I'm like, this is very reminiscent to CS:GO. And Riot Games is making it. Well, I know Riot Games is a great company because they made League of Legends. I get that. League of Legends is a huge fucking game. We can agree on that.
100%. I hate it, but it is a massive game.
Right. Right. But Riot Games trying something different that's not League of Legends, it makes me think, is that a good market to go into, as they've been with the League of Legends for years? Mm-hmm. I looked at gameplay, I'm like, it's CSGO literally matched almost with Overwatch.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
As a person who's grown up with COD and Halo, I'm the most aggressive shooter player ever. I don't get the whole standing, waiting, watching corners to wait for someone to push. I don't get it.
That is pure cancer. But I think it's not at all coincidence that its design is literally copy paste CS:GO. In my opinion, I think it's literally trying to run CS:GO out, just for the fact that you can't aim down sights, but a lot of games do that. You can wave that by. Graphics wise, it's not much to look at, and neither is CS:GO. It's simplistic, but it's just to make sure that as many people can download the game as possible and run it as smoothly as possible. Which is a business model very similar to CS:GO, but you can wave past that. Where I don't think you can wave past that is the fact that you use money and you gain money to buy weapons in the game, and at that point, and it's not just buy weapons for what's called decorations or skins or anything like that. No, it's literally each round you get a certain amount of money, and that progresses you forward. That is literally what CS:GO. that's CS:GO gameplay to a fault, and it's just I think from my opinion, I think it's literally built that way. Riot Games built this game was all right, we're gonna run this bitch out. We want this market.
And while they are trying to run that market, there's a few things that CS:GO has that Valorant probably isn't going to have. One thing is that CS:GO is teamed with Steam. You can trade weapon skins, and weapon skins in CS:GO cost real world money. In Valorant, I know once you buy a skin, that's locked to your account. And I don't know if Valorant's going to be free. CS:GO is free. We don't know if Valorant's going to be free.
Very true. Now, what do you think about Valorant's decision and how they handle their closed beta? Because 99% of the time when you get a closed beta, you sign up for it, and maybe the devs give out a few codes to the top content creators, and they distribute it how they see fit. But for Valorant, the only way most people can get it is by watching the Valorant streams. That's code drops. What do you think about that distribution model?
I mean, it's basically allowing you to watch the stream so you can learn about the game. And if you've watched it enough, they're like, okay, maybe you know about the game. You can play it yourself for a bit. But that also still can be stemmed off of random chance, just as it would be for signing up for it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure if I hopped on the Valorant stream for 10 minutes, I might get lucky and get a code. Yeah, exactly. Whereas some people have literally, since day one, have been on stream and have not gotten one yet. And even worse is that people are setting up bots and shit to grind codes. And so after one day, they just leave the screen open, like a bunch of different windows, and then they'll come back to their computer 9 hours later, have maybe 3 or 4 codes, and those codes they put on their streams. Almost every like Valorant streamer has code drops enabled or something like that to just get people to come to their stream in hopes of getting a code. Like, it's that crazy. I have to say this model is successful, but I think it's a little dirty in my opinion. Like that,
You mean
it just like. For the devs doing it, that's fine, but the devs should have realized that it was just opening the door for miners to just come and harvest as many codes as possible, and it's just ultimately unfair. It's RNG. It's a game of chance. You can be there for 5 days and not get a code, or you can be there for 20 minutes and get a code.
Yeah.
It's...
And we can agree, the video game market is meant to be dirty to begin with. So them doing that is smart. And yes, it's dirty, but hey, it works.
What?
If it works, then it's a good market.
100% if it works. It being PC hurts. Anybody that
Right.
I am a console player. I highly doubt it would be console because Riot Games they're not huge console. They're not console giants. But
I think PC is absolute master race.
different episode, Murp. Different episode.
Right.
Different episode. But do you think? Okay, so we already talked about like how well it's gonna like not how well, but like how it's definitely when it comes out fully, it's gonna give CS:GO a run for its money. Like that's without a fact. Or without a doubt. But what do you think about Overwatch? Do you think it has a chance to take some of Overwatch's market, which to begin with is already dying?
Yeah, Overwatch is already going down a pit. As a person who like played on day one, I loved Overwatch. It's just as time progressed, I'd say the first year of Overwatch game was great. As time progressed after that, that game started dying.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having Overwatch 2 release, but what did Jeff Kaplan say? He said, "Oh, we're having Overwatch 2. We don't know when it's released." Bye, and then we don't see him for the next 6 months.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then when we see him again for another 6 months, he's probably not even going to say anything about a release date. So I feel like that, yeah, Valorant will definitely take over Overwatch. And if Valorant's free, yeah, Overwatch players are definitely streaming right to it.
Oh yeah, like if Valorant, like that's like a big if factor because if it's free to play, which personally we don't know for sure. Like you mentioned before, we don't know for sure if it's free or not, but a lot of the top games, a lot of the developers are realizing that okay, well we can afford for the game to be free so long as enough people play it, it has a big enough esports and plenty of in-game cosmetics. If you've got that trifecta, the game can be free and still make plenty of money. If you got any problems with that, go ahead and ask Fortnite. Case closed. Like if Valorant's free, like even if it has like a $15 price tag or something ridiculously cheap, which is a weird number, but anyway, like even if it was like a $5 price tag, that might like stop players. Even not like of course not adults. Like I'll drop $5 to play that game if it came out on console. That's fine. But like for kids who literally don't have a debit card to go ahead with to get the game, that's like stopping a good chunk of their player base. So if it's free, it's gonna be huge. In my opinion, if it's free, it's gonna be huge. If it has any kind of price tag, it's gonna not nearly be as big as what we expect it to be. Because like if you're just going off hype right now, I would say it's near Fortnite levels, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. So like, even with the price tag, it's not gonna deter people. I know that. One thing I know for certain: Riot Games made League of Legends. That game is 1,000% going to be in the competitive scene. Like that's not gonna happen. Like that will
absolutely
happen. So I will see like everyone will see a competitive scene to that, just as it would for League of Legends. And price tag or not, we'll still see that. And in-game cosmetics, people crave that as much as people like keep deterring that, like loot boxes and shit, like from Overwatch and whatnot. People will still buy them.
Loot boxes, battle passes, it don't matter. Just they'll buy it.
Works.
I hate it. I'll buy it. Fuck.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Not the only one.
Now, what I hope to get from this new Valorant esports scene is I'm really hoping it has the traditional esports where every org has a chance at least to like build their team from the bottom and make their way up, whereas not the city-based shit that they have for Overwatch esports and Call of Duty esports and
CS:GO.
CS:GO, yeah. I was thinking of the name, but yeah. So those like I don't want city-based esports because the whole point of internet, like the internet was supposed to be like you don't have to be from a certain place to root for a certain thing. You can be from fucking anywhere and root for anything, and there was the whole point like anonymity. Where you are doesn't matter; it's what you do. Whereas the city-based shit, it's like trying to make it more like regular sports, and that's for my opinion. That's why most regular sports are dying because they're not trying to promote like lock. This is supposed to be because previous to this we were supposed to be an NBA video, but
Right.
like this, if you're not, if you go to, I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan, but if you go to New York and you're seeing wearing this jersey, people like some fucking boomer will come at you and be like, "Yo, what the fuck you doing? That's not your heritage. That's not your hometown rep." But and that like that old mindset is so fucking boomer like, and I didn't want to see it in esports, especially not
No.
esports for I like. You can put esports in League of Legends. I don't give a shit. Put cities. Put walls. I don't give a fuck. But not esports I like. And Valorant, for as much as I
don't.
do think that it's a little bit overhyped and everything, if you watch the gameplay, it is pretty enjoyable. Like you got to give it that at the very least. So that's what I'm hoping from this new esports scene is that they don't do city based. I want them to do traditional esports teams like where you can start from the bottom, work your way up. Whereas these city based teams where you need a city's approval, you need the game's devs approval, you need a massive amount of funding. It's just a huge pain in the ass. Like you can't get in the game unless you suck off a fucking esports team, an existing esports team,
And the devs on top of that too.
and the devs, especially the devs. Oh my god, we don't talk about game devs. We don't talk about game devs.
We don't talk about game devs.
Non-showering motherfuckers. Anyway, but have you played the game yet? Or okay, well I think
mean, I haven't watched any gameplay. Like I said, I only watched a little bit from this one the YouTuber that I learned about Valorant, and I looked online. It's a 5v5 competitive mode.
Mhm.
CS:GO is a 5v5 competitive mode.
Yeah.
They have a buy system. CS:GO has a buy system. Like everything is very reminiscent of CS:GO as it is to like with Valorant, and even some of the guns seem a little repetitive to what CS:GO have. Like you could take gun A and it looks like an AK. You can take X revolver, it looks like the R8.
yeah,
Like it's almost like they took the game files of CS:GO, threw it, and they're like, let's mod it up a bit and add our own abilities.
Yeah.
And its own exclusive like lore and characters, then we'll make that our game. I like lore-based characters. That's why I love Overwatch.
Mhm.
I will play and understand Overwatch for the characters.
Mhm.
Any other kind of games where it doesn't have any base character lore, I'm already immediately deterred.
yeah. They're already just like that's Valorant. I believe doesn't have lore, right? So like, if they don't have lore, it's just big fat dude gets a lot of HP. Red hair chick, okay, she has something to do with fire. Fucking edgy kid, okay, something with shadows. Like without lore to like really make the characters fun to play, understand what their abilities are for, where they come from, all that shit. And it's kind of nerdy as it is, and it's pretty nerdy. It's still I read the lore, and Valorant, in my opinion, doesn't have any lore as far as I'm concerned. They might add it because it is just a closed beta,
Right.
but as of right now, without the lore, the characters become pretty two-dimensional.
Right. And they made League of Legends, and League of Legends has a whole bunch of characters, a whole bunch of lore that connects each other to each character. And I don't think they'll not do it. I think they'll 100% do it
At some point.
at some point. And whenever the game gets a full release, I guarantee you they'll do the Overwatch strategy by adding new characters and maybe adding new guns.
Hopefully free, like the Overwatch system.
Hopefully free, yeah. And that's a smart thing to do.
100%.
And it, yeah.
Oh, and just like, what was I gonna say? Okay, so as for like, just on the topic of Overwatch, how long do you think it will be until Valorant gets released? Because Overwatch, there is such a long history from announcement to release. Valorant, clearly fun, but as of right now, it only has like that one game mode. Clearly, that won't be all of it. So how long do you estimate, in your best guess, do you think it would take for this game to be released? Will we see it in 2020?
Would we see it in 2020? If we would, it would be late 2020. If not, I would say like either winter of 2021, not winter, fuck, spring of 2021. League of Legends and Riot Games, they strictly just make one game, and they're great at updating this game. Hot fixes, updates to the game in general. I am very confident that this game is coming out soon.
Soon in relative speaking, not soon as in what a normal person thinks. Soon as in video game talk. Video games go very, very slowly. So quickly in video game talk.
Right. I forget that. That's always the mindset I run.
Yeah.
I forget that. Oh well.
I'm just hoping that this beta, like at least the closed beta comes to an end soon, because this way that they have it right now, it's dirty, it works, it gets hype, it does its job. Where it's like, right. How do you make people want to go to your fucking club? By not inviting them to it. That's how you do it, and that's exactly what they did. Like, they don't. They like allowed only a very like pigeonhole of what their possible player base could be. But that's on purpose, so when they finally do open the floodgates, so many more players are going to play. And I'm going to keep watching this game, because it does look pretty fun. And if it ever does get on console, I will be there. I'll be there. But yeah, is there anything left to add?
I mean, I am very confident. Like, it's a shooter-based. We can agree that a whole lot of PC games have come to console. While there are some games like CS that will never come to console, because that would be tremendously impossible to play on controller.
Yeah.
If Valorant runs the way it is, gets a huge player base, and like gets a whole lot of requests for console play, I 100% believe that Riot Games would take the risk and go for it.
100%.
League of Legends, I know, if they just averted it away for a bit on a PlayStation controller or an Xbox controller, they could make League work on console. I know for a fact they could make Valorant work on console.
Please, I want it. See now, I'm a pretty starting contrarian in that, like, oh, a hype train, fuck that, that's gay. But then I, like, when you guys told me about it, I was like, let me look through these streams and shit, and it looked actually pretty fun. And if anybody doesn't know, I am killing myself on Overwatch right now, so anything that's not Overwatch is a gold brick to me. But anyway, that's our opinions on the topic. Thanks for listening and watching to this episode of Night Shift. That's Murpdirt. All of our socials are down below. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Deuces. The peace sign. The fucking peace sign.